Hey guys, this is James, and here we are, week 9 of the 2022 M1 Finance Battle. I bought $1,000 in 4 slices at an even $250 per slice at the start of the year. Here we are at week 9, and covered calls are on top. There's 5 holdings in each of the different slices, and we will take a look at each and every one of those. But we are down slightly for the week. Covered calls are continuing to stay on top. The S&P 500 ETFs are second. The REITs actually gained a little bit this week, about 1.5%, and the NASDAQ 100 ETFs are on the bottom. Coming over to the tracking spreadsheet, we have the 4 different slices in the different color categories, and in the gray, we have the total overall portfolio with the weekly and the year-to-date differences. In the REIT category, it is the only category that actually increased this week. Last week, it increased 1.82%, and this week, it increased another 1.3%. The covered calls ETFs are still on top. However, they had a negative 0.48% slide this week. The S&P 500 ETFs had a 1.2% slide this week, and the NASDAQ 100 lost another 4.16%. The starting values all started at $250. The total portfolio value lost another 1% this week for a total of 12.76% year to date. And here is the week by week graph with the numbers on it, and you can see in the green, the REITs have gained the past 2 weeks, and they are catching up to the S&P 500 ETFs. So let's take a look at each and every one of the individual holdings. There are 5 holdings in each of the slices, and on top we have the REITs, and it looks like here we are in week 9. If we scroll back, we can see all the previous weeks starting with $50 in each holding and how each one has performed. And you can see in the REIT category over the past 9 weeks, Welltower. Over the past 9 weeks, you can see in the highlighted boxes the REIT that was on top, as well as the covered calls S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 ETFs. You can see the NASDAQ 100 ETFs have been trading back and forth between the triple Q, M, J, and triple Q. VOOV has stayed on top for the S&P 500 ETFs. And for the covered call ETFs, Devo and PBP have been going back and forth for first place. And in the REITs, Welltower has stayed on top for most of 2022, where Realty Income Corp went ahead in week 5 and 6. But here back in week 9, Welltower has actually gone back up above the initial investment of $50. So Welltower is up for this year to date, 2022. Highest performing REIT this week was Welltower, and the lowest has continued to be Digital Realty Trust at $39.28. The overall slice value for the REITs increased $2 to $3 for the week, and here is the graph. You can see Welltower in first place in the REIT slice. Over in the covered call slice, you have PBP in first place this week with QYLD, the NASDAQ 100 covered call ETFs from Global X, at $44.71, continuing to separate itself on the bottom, where the top 4 are starting to come together. Devo and PBP are continuing to go back and forth for first place. However, PBP is on top this week at $48.20, with again the lowest being $44.71 for QYLD. The overall slice lost about $1 in value. For the S&P 500 ETFs, we have VOOV, the Vanguard's value S&P 500, where they weight the value stocks a lot higher than a normal S&P 500 fund. It is sitting at $48.45, with the lowest in this category being VOOG, the growth stocks or the tech stocks being a heavier weight in VOOG, sitting at $42.53, with the normal S&P 500 funds all sitting around $45. The overall slice lost about $2 to $3 worth of value in week 9 compared to week 8. And last but not least, you have the NASDAQ 100 ETFs, with QQQM being on top in first place this week. Then you have QQJ, QQQ, not far behind. And then you have the double leveraged fund QLD and TQQQ taking the bottom spot. The NASDAQ 100 ETF lost another $8 to $9 worth of value this week. That is it for week 9. Head down into the comments and let me know if you are changing your positions in some of your holdings. This is just a little fun play around portfolio. This is not my full portfolio. I'll have a full portfolio review here for my 401k here in a few weeks, so stay tuned for that. This portfolio is just to play around, have fun, and see what we would get throughout the year of 2022 with these 20 different holdings. I really want to see, as the NASDAQ starts to turn around, if it does this year in 2022, I'd like to see how QLD and TQQQ perform against each other and how they catch up to the normal NASDAQ 100 funds. So with that, leave a like if you continue to like this series and want me to keep going, and we'll see you next week.